Training is important. Let me say that clearly up front. Training matters. People need to know the standard. They need to understand the process. They need to develop the skill. They need to practice coaching and feedback. But training is not a magic wand. And in many organizations, retrain the employee has become one of the easiest corrective actions to write down. A defect occurs, retrain the employee. A safety concern shows up, retrain the employee. A process step is missed, retrain the employee. A customer issue comes back, retrain the employee. It sounds reasonable. It is easy to document. It gives the appearance that action has taken. But here is the problem. Closing the record is not the same as reducing the risk of reoccurrence. If the same issue can happen again tomorrow under the same conditions, then the system has not really changed. The paperwork may be completed, but the risk is still present. Training is the right answer when the gap is truly knowledge or skill. If someone was never taught the standard, that is a training gap. If someone understands the standard, but has not developed the ability to perform the task correctly, that may still be a skills gap. In those cases, training, practice, coaching, and verification are appropriate. But many problems that get labeled as training issues are not really training issues. If the standard is unclear, training will not fix the standard. If the tool is missing, training will not make the tool appear. If the material is hard to find, training will not fix the flow. If the work instruction is confusing, training will not make it clear. If the fixture allows the part to be installed incorrectly, training will not mistake-proof the process. If the process depends on memory, heroics, or tribal knowledge, training may only teach people how to survive a fragile system. At best, retraining creates awareness. At worst, it teaches people how to work around a problem leadership should have fixed. That is not capability building. That is just transferring the burden of a weak system back to the employee. And this is where leaders have to be careful. Because retraining the employee can sound like accountability. But if we have not clarified the standard, provided the right tools, designed the process well, removed the barriers, verified the work, or followed up at the point of use, then we may not be holding people accountable. We may be asking them to compensate for a system we have not improved. Real capability building starts with diagnosis. Before choosing training as the corrective action, ask, is this a knowledge gap? Is this a skills gap? Is this a standard work gap? Is this a tool or material availability gap? Is this a process design gap? Is this a leadership follow-up gap? Is this a verification gap? Those questions matter because the countermeasures should match the cause. If the person does not know, then teach. If that person cannot perform the skill, coach and practice. If the standard is unclear, well, then clarify the standard. If the tool is missing, fix the tool availability. If the process makes the error easy, then just redesign the process. If the issue is not being verified, improve the control. If the leader is not following up, then fix the leadership system. That's how capability is built. Capability is not just attendance in a training session. Capability is when the person understands the standard, has the ability to perform it, has the right tools available, works in a process that supports success, receives coaching and feedback, and can demonstrate the skill at the point of work. The last part matters. Verification should happen where the work happens, not just on a sign-in sheet, not just in a training record, not just in a corrective action form. Question's not, did we tell them again? The question is, can the process now perform more reliably than it did before? That is a leadership standard. Training may be part of the answer, but it should not become the default answer just because it is easy to document. If the same training keeps happening for the same problem, that's a signal. It may be telling you the standard is weak. It may be telling you the process is fragile. It may be telling you the tools, flow, feedback, and verification are not adequate. And it may be telling you that the system has not changed enough to make reoccurrence less likely. So yes, train people, but do not stop there. Build the capability. improve the process, verify the condition, and make sure the corrective action actually reduces the chance of problems coming back. Because training is important, but training is not a magic wand.